Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux with another DistroWars. And yeah, it's shocking. We are actually streaming today. Been a weird couple months, guys, and it's gonna just keep getting weirder. We got some more interesting stuff going on in the background that eventually you guys will know. A couple of the supporters are aware of it. Most of the supporters are not entirely aware of it yet. And the rest of you guys will be made such aware eventually. I mean, reality, just establishing a base on Mars. And going to be establishing some streaming from Mars or Bigfoot, one of the two. And anyway, that's taking up a lot of time, but I was able to fit in the 4 o'clock stream today. We have a good topic tomorrow as well on the live stream. I think we had a suggestion. Talk about what are the challenges we've had with Linux lately, whether or not we have overcome it. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow on the supporters stream. And of course, Friday, we can never miss the weekly news roundup. But regardless, that is where we are. We are monitoring chats today on Discord and on chat. If you're not already on Discord, tlm.li/STLD to jump over on the Discord server. When you get there, we monitor the live chat section. So if you are watching and you do not like to log into the YouTubies, you can go ahead and find it on over there. Let's see. We have Gray Tombstone Stallman. How's it going there? KWalls66. How's it going with you as well? We got Mr. Chopra, how's it going there? And we got Moonbase Alpha Grays. Greetings, take me to your leader. And we got Ignite the fire. There we have it. Yes, we've got aliens. There's always aliens on this stream. El Cardin Nor, am I saying that right? All right. Well, it's common knowledge that I'm a space alien at this point in time. I mean, come on. My kitty is my handler. Come on, guys. Elon speaks. No. Elon's not even getting close to Mars. We are preventing Elon from making it out to Mars. So that's that. Zorin, the best Intel has to offer, or dies trying to prove it is Solus, the very bestest and encounter ever. There you go. Fluffy Cloud, how's it going there? Looking fluffy today. Hello, Abadidia64. Greetings. Fabazero, how's it going there? Greetings from Italy. Well, greetings. I am going to have some spaghetti tonight for dinner. So is that Italy enough, or is that like fake Italian? I don't know. Let me know. Worm Pie, how's it going there? I will not be eating worm pie today. Spaghetti, I don't know. I mean, is spaghetti worm pie? Like wormy, I mean, come on. Oh boy. You know, Dracula spelled backwards. I should have known that. I have seen Monster Squad. The Quantum Alpha only has 10% left on battery. Let's go ahead and get diving on in. We should stop right about 5 today because I do actually have some other things to do before my busy evening shows up tonight. And I get back to what I was doing before the stream started. And with that, can I be your second helper in the spaceship? Please don't get me off this rock. Yeah, there's good. Yeah, we got room for you. I don't know if we need help on the spaceship, but we definitely have some room. We'll find something for you to do. Greetings, the violinist, fellow Linux penguins, fake Italians, Spamoni. Uh-oh. I read the title as Zorin versus Salbu. Yes, Zorin versus Salbu. That's right. Salbu says over on Discord. Take a look at Parrot OS Home. It's the home iteration of Parent Sec distro. It has Anon Surf with roots anonymizing. Yeah, in general, I don't cover hacking distros on the channel. Not to say I won't ever, but it's not necessarily the plan. But I don't know, if I run out of things to do, then maybe I will. Well, let's go ahead and get started on this. Let me take another sip of tea. I have cinnamon stick tea again. I just bought a whole box of it, so that's generally what I'm drinking these days. It's so tasty. So tasty. Cinnamon tea. The world is against you. That's right. Me against the world. I'll be singing some Tupac. I will not be partaking in the other things, but all right, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Welcome back to Switch to Linux and another edition of DistroWars, and this was a supporter-requested comparison, Zorin versus Solus. And we want to have a look at these, and there's actually a lot. I'm fairly familiar with both of these platforms, and so I have a fair amount I can say about each one of them. And so we're going to go ahead and get diving on into these. Let's first start by having a look at their individual websites. So Zorin itself is really billed as an easy distro for beginners. They have anything from tablet modes, they have a Redmond mode, they have a Mac type mode. You can purchase more themes and packages pre-installed with the Zorin. I think it's called the Zorin Ultimate. You can also download the basic Zorin, the Zorin Core, and that ships with the GNOME desktop environment, but it's a highly customized GNOME. It's not like the vanilla GNOME that just looks like GNOME. It's highly, highly customized. They did an excellent job with it. The other thing is that if you do have a lower end computer, they do have a light edition, which is based on XFCE. Again, it is a very nice job. Now, there was a little bit of Zorin where a little bit of a controversy a while ago. Myself and a few others pointed it out, and Zorin has rectified the issue. And that is that they did have a Zorin census, which would ping, I think if I remember correctly, I think it was like once an hour, and it would ping that, and maybe a few, the number of users on the computer would ping back. And that actually was a little bit controversial. So they have now included an opt-out on the install, so you can deselect that and not participate in the Zorin census now. So in response to those of us who had made concerns about that, that is now rectified. Head on up to the download button at the top of the website. We do have the full version for $40 US. This comes with a lot of other themes, a lot of other layouts, and some extra software. We do have the Core Essentials, which is free. You don't need to pay anything for that. Also built on GNOME. And then we also have the Zorin Lite, which is for your older computer. And again, this is built on XFCE. So one of the best aspects of Zorin is how easy it is to use. They do have the theming and accent colors that allows you to set up your system the way that you would like. This is based on Ubuntu, and so it has a much wider package base of applications to install. It does include snap packages out of the box. I think Flatpak is available to install, but I don't remember it being installed out of the box. The other distro we're going to be comparing this to is Solus. So Solus created the Budgie desktop, which in my opinion is GNOME done right. It's a very nice build of GNOME. It's not as highly customizable as several other desktops are, so you're not going to be able to get in there and make it completely your own, although you can change between light themes, dark themes. There are a few other themes that you can use and set up. Solus is also available in GNOME, not the customized GNOME that Zorin has, but in the stock GNOME. We also have a Mate and a Plasma edition as well. Unlike Zorin, Solus is based on its own Linux build, so it's not based on Ubuntu or Debian or Arch or anything like that. It is its own thing. It has its own package manager, its own customs and customizations and features. This provides with it an upside that all of the packages work very well with it, but the downside is that the number of packages is highly limited. It does have snaps and Flatpaks available, however, so you can actually produce a good system with what you want with both snaps and Flatpaks. So that is really what Solus is all about. Let's go ahead and jump on in, and we are going to start by looking over at Zorin. And one of the best things here about Zorin is as it logs in, it just looks really nice from the startup to the final shutdown. We get our nice Zorin, Zorin screen there. It hides all that scary Linuxy looking stuff when a computer usually boots up. And then it's going to bring us right into the login screen, and we'll wait for that to show up. So here's our Zorin login screen, and we just kind of click in on our username here, and we can come in here and choose the basic desktop on X, or we can choose the desktop on Wayland. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it here on X. Go and get signed in with my super secret password that is definitely not 123. And here we land on the desktop. So while this is running GNOME, you'll see that it doesn't really look a lot like GNOME. It's highly customized to look a whole lot like Windows. We do have a few other options if I can remember where exactly to find them, but we do have some theming options in the Zorin appearances menu. So you can pull this guy up. This is your default. We also have more of what would be more called a Redmond layout and older format here, which is going to give us a list of our icons on the bottom. This is generally my preferred. And then you have like a Mac type feel, which has the icons in the center, not exactly the way that Mac runs, but a little bit closer. So you can see that we have a lot of the features and things in here. Within this, you can set your different desktop icons the way that you might want them to have. You can set your title buttons left or right, enabling the animations. We also have the ability to easily select your icons here. So we can choose the dark mode, we can choose the light mode with our particular accent color we are interested in. And this mode over here, you can do sunset to sunrise, which is going to require you to turn on location services, which basically is just pinging to find when's the sunrise and sunset. And then during the day, it's going to give you the light mode. The dark, it's going to give you the dark mode. Or you can go ahead and set it to manual, and you can tell it when to go light mode, when to go dark mode. And then here's just some other options that we have. So we do have a lot more theming options available inside of Zorin to really make the system your own. Let me go ahead and turn this guy back to what we had. Actually, we'll go with this middle layout here, which is kind of more of my favorite. So over here, you can see the applications on the default here. Head on over here. Here's your games. Just a couple in there. Here's your accessories. Nothing too over the top on accessories, but we do actually have enough accessories here that it feels like it has some extra functionality. So overall, the application choices are going to be fairly similar on these guys out of the box. How about extra software? Well, Zorin, being based on Ubuntu, uses the apt software system. So if you want to boot up a terminal, you can go ahead and sudo apt, however, and blah, 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 blah. We also have out of the box, we have the GNOME Software Center over here. And your GNOME Software Center already is configured to work with your Snap packages. So I did double check is this the Snap Store or the GNOME Software Store, and I believe it is the GNOME Software Store. But let's just go ahead and look for Kdenlive here. And if you look for Kdenlive, we have two options, and one of these is the Snap Store Kdenlive, and the other one I believe will be the Ubuntu repository. So you can see it's the Ubuntu repository one. And so that's what we have. We don't have Snap configured. If you do want to use Snap on this, it's very easy. Just install, if you want to use Flatpak on this, it's easy. Just install Flatpak, install the Flatpak software, GNOME Software Center plugin, and then add FlatHub repository, update your system, and then it will appear in here. So you'll have a good GUI way to manage your Flatpaks. Out of the box, it does not have that. But that's actually what you have. As far as other things, the software is going to be everything inside the Ubuntu repositories and the Snap repositories. So we do have a wide variety of software. And the last thing is we'll just go ahead and have a brief look at our system monitor. Because it runs on GNOME, it should be a little bit more heavy than Budgie, which does run a little bit lighter last time I checked. So you can see this guy is running on 1.4 gig of RAM, which is pretty heavy right now, even for a Linux system. You can, of course, as we said, go back to the XFCE, the Zorin Lite, and that will work out well. Overall, though, Zorin is really good for people who like the Ubuntu base but don't want to use Ubuntu specifically. You want to have more control over your look and your feel, and you want to have a wider array of applications. With that, we'll go ahead and have a look at what Solus has to offer next. Let's go back to here. We'll check in on comments. I'm going to shut down Zorin, and then we will boot up Solus when we get through our comments. Alrighty, let's see. Over here we got, let me pop these out a little bit so I'm like looking a little bit closer to the camera, not so much like this. Look at my side profile, folks. I'd be holding up a little placard, you know. Of course, I popped my comments out, so I don't know where I'm at now. Let's see. If you're a hacker, you probably know which distro to run. Yeah, probably. Linux Mint, how's it going there? And let's see, cinnamon tea with or without honey. No honey. Penguins, Tom, I think you might need some reading glasses. What? Do I need some reading glasses? I'm confused now. Why do I need reading glasses? On Solus Mate as we speak. There you go. Kind of the same. Let's see. My mom's been happy with it for the last couple weeks, though. Dad hated Solus because he didn't like the Solus desktop or whatever it's called. He's running Zorin Lite now. That would be Budgie. Although there are 4 different desktops you can run on Solus now. Solus is Turkish spyware. All right. Evidence for that? That'd be neat thing to know. It's not just who you think Budgie is, GNOME done right. That's why I've been using Solus for the past 2 years. Let's see. Tell it to the Penguin Fathers. They came over in the Mayflower. Just mourning our king here in South Africa. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Because I was not sure about Linux when I switched. Solus Mate or Budgie? I'm looking at Solus Budgie today. Been using Peppermint for 2 years now. It's great. Tried MX, but had hardware problems. Yeah, I run MX now. I used to run Peppermint on my writing computer. I'm running MX on it now, which works well, actually. I'm going to try Zorin OS now. Give it a try. Spin it up in a VM, if nothing else. See how it works. Mac-like layout on Zorin Core reminds me of Chrome OS. Yeah, it might be very much like Chrome OS, really, which really is just Gentoo, customized Gentoo. Things with Solus is that I can't get Veracrypt, XF's Cleaner, Onion Share working on it. Yeah, that's the downside of Solus, is it's its own thing, and being as that its own thing, it it is lacking some software that is not available or that is available in other places. Cinnamon everywhere. Clem would be proud of you. Hey, man, cheers. By the way, does anyone know when will Cinnamon be ported over GTK4? I don't know. Probably not in the immediate future because the Linux Mint team is fairly conservative, so it'll probably have to be out for a little bit before that actually happens. Whoa. All right, let's go ahead and boot up Solus. And then we'll go ahead and get started over here. taking forever to boot. And who just jumped on the stream like, it's just a silent black screen. What's going on? So here we are on the Solus login screen, and we're going to come down here, enter my super secret password, go ahead and get ourselves logged in here. And over here on Budgie, and with Solus, well, first let's go ahead and talk about a couple of the little things in Solus that have been a little bit distasteful. Some people have had some issues with the Solus team. Sometimes the Solus team seem to have it out for certain applications, like libhandy. If I remember correctly, I believe libhandy is like a GNOME package needed for some of the tablet and mobile type support. And they're like, well, we're not doing anything with that, so we won't even bother shipping it. And then that starts to break some packages. Since Solus is its own unique Linux distribution, they have curated all of the software available for it, and it is very limited compared to other distributions. We do, however, have a number of software packages. It's not like you're going to be out for the major packages that are out there like GIMP or LibreOffice or things like that. Those are all available, and I believe many of them may even be installed by default. Just have a brief look. We don't have GIMP on there. We do have LibreOffice on there. And you can see it's not like completely lacking in system resources. We do actually have two settings managers. We have the Budgie desktop settings, for which manage your themes, and we will have another settings panel as well for some of the more GNOME type setups. Let's go ahead and have a look at our system resources here while we're at it. So we're running on about 400 megabytes less over here. Still a gig, still fairly heavy, but not all that bad. But here's with our software center. We do have a nice software center. It is nice. It is clean. We also have some third-party applications that you can install. We have Android Studio. There's NPass, Password Manager. Here's Chrome, Chrome Beta, Chrome Dev, Google Earth. A lot of Google stuff. We have InSync, not to be mistaken with a bad 90s band. You can see there's a lot of these third-party applications that are a little bit harder to find in some other platforms. Out of the box, we do have Snap and Flatpak configured, although we don't have any way to manage those in the GUI. With the Snap, at least you can install the Snap Store because that's a Snap package itself, and you can go ahead and get a GUI for that. But you're pretty much out of luck on the Flatpak GUI because last time I checked, I believe that the GNOME Software Center is not even available on Solus, which means that you can't even use the Flatpak plugin for that and have a GUI, so you will be stuck managing your Flatpaks with the terminal. Most of you guys may not care about that, but some of you guys may be like, terminal, keep away. Now, because it is its own thing, it does use its own package manager, and that is called EOPack. So it's actually fairly easy to use. If you can use apt or if you can use DNF, it's much the same, closer to DNF. It's just sudo EOPackage install and EOPackage upgrade. Very simple stuff. It's its own little thing. We already talked about the fact that it has a few extra desktop environments than Zorin has, although all of those desktop environments are going to be close to the vanilla, whereas Zorin highly customizes them to make it all look like a standard computer. As far as other features inside of Solus, really its biggest selling point is that it works well. It has a very nice UI with the Solus, the Budgie desktop environment. I really think it's a very nice, very modern desktop environment. As far as your customization that it's going to have, we don't have, here you can see there's a settings and then there's a Budgie desktop settings. The Budgie desktop settings is going to change your basic look and feel. So we have a few different options as far as where our theming is going to go, but we don't have quite the we don't have the highlight colors and all of the other options that we have inside of Zorin. So you can kind of see here's a light theme, dark theme option. We have animations or no animations. There are a lot of extra fun options. We can turn on or turn off desktop icons very easily. That's something a lot of people like. I love desktop icons, and GNOME is moving without them. Solus is keeping those going forward. So that's really what makes Solus so compelling. Is its own thing. It works a lot faster. You're not going to find abandoned stuff in the software repositories, but you might be missing some software, like, for example, Veracrypt. If you want to use Veracrypt, you're like, oh, well, you know, you could just use Lux. Well, you might have a reason to use Veracrypt, such as you have to transfer things back and forth between, you know, Windows, Mac, or Linux, and you're not going to get that working over here. And there's going to be a few other applications that will not work. So with that, we had a look. The software installer is nice. We have a nice custom software installer, and we have some third-party options. We can install a fair amount of software. Your basic Linux user is not going to be out of luck running this. If you do need some form of mobile support things with libhandy, you're not going to get that either. So really, that's kind of where we're at. Looking at the two of them, which one's better? Well, it's going to kind of depend on what type of user you are. If you happen to be a user that really needs a lot of packages, more obscure things, just more feature rich, Zorin between these two is going to be a little bit better of an option. If you don't want the bloat, if you don't want to use GNOME, if you just kind of need a few very distinct applications, Solus might be a little bit better of an option. Overall, it works very well. It is quite a bit faster. It even feels snappier than Zorin does. Solus also is not necessarily engaged in any data collection that I'm aware of. That Zorin does actually have some data collection. That they did take it. They did make it opt out, but hey, Solus has never actually jumped out and decided to do that. Flatpaks and snaps are supported by both of the systems. We will have GUI options for those inside of Zorin, whereas Solus, you're going to have to manage those with the terminal, except for snaps when you can install the Snap Store. So those are kind of your comparisons. Which one's better? Which one's worse? Overall, I think Zorin does give us a lot better options. I do love Budgie. I like what Solus has done. And I do love it when distributions come out and make their own path rather than jumping onto Ubuntu. So those are the things Solus is moving towards better. However, Zorin overall is going to be a better overall package between these two if you're talking about a new user, customizability, availability of software packages, and ease of use. Those are my thoughts on these two desktop environments and distributions, rather. Let me know your thoughts about these guys in the comments down below. All right, let's go ahead and have a gander at our... Well, let me shut down Solus first. Don't trust, Quantum Alpha does not trust the Solus developers. You're not the only one. Try looking at Solus again. I used it for a while, had snide experience at best. All right. Doesn't provide software that home users don't need, such as any kind of mail server. Yeah, they're pretty much home use only type stuff. All right. What's the DE and Zorin called? Yeah, it's just highly customized GNOME. So it's just GNOME with a lot of themes. Now, an extra hint, if you buy the Zorin Ultimate, you have more theming options. They do give you, I think, 3 more theming look options inside Zorin. Pizza Loving Nerd actually has a good review of the Zorin Ultimate versus the Zorin Core. You can have a look at his channel for the difference between those two. Zorin still in the 18. That one was... Which one was that one? That was Bionic, I believe, was what was in there, and I just downloaded that. So Bionic, I believe, is 18, I think. Whatever one Bionic is. I can't keep up with the Ubuntu development, so... Solus does have Onion Share in the repository. I'll see if I can get it to work. All right. Let's see. I got the coof, apparently. I was on the phone, so you missed it. No! EO package format used by Solus was created by Pardus Linux, distro of the Turkish government. Much of the things under the hood are derived from Pardus. All right. Solus is not afraid of third-party, non-sauce stuff. Yeah, so yeah, that's another comparison maybe I should have done. Yeah, that is the latest Solus. I just downloaded it yesterday, and then I downloaded them both yesterday, installed them yesterday, and updated them yesterday. So those are going to be the latest. Nasty freezing problem. Can't recommend it anymore. I'm not a huge fan of either one of these, to be perfectly honest. You know, Manjaro. I've been doing great on Arch lately. But Manjaro and we got Manjaro, we got Linux Mint, of course, is my favorite. You know, there's a few other ones out there as well that I would like to use. They're from Ireland. Yeah, is the Solus team? I can't remember. I don't know where they're all from. And there was actually a change in the Solus team not too long ago. Solus is not its own thing, derived from Pardus. How many times should I say it? Well, you know, Pardus is not one that anybody is particularly familiar with. So if you have extra information on that, cool. But best that anybody knows, it's its own Linux distribution. Hello, Sudo Reboot. Greetings to you. Solus will track things if you want them to. If you have those as an option. All right. Let's see. .2004 is focal. Yeah, 2004 is focal. So yes, they're back. They're still on the Beaver. Leave it to Beaver, huh? Canonical helped with GNOME. If you remember, GNOME sucked a lot and had bad performance in 3D games. Yeah, the GNOME has come a long way. I'm still not a fan of it, but it definitely has come a long way. Solus too bloated, breaking when uninstalled a lot of things. Had issues with Solus, how it functions. All right. Trying Zorin 15 on HP. All right. Solus will never be the newest release. They are the ones who pointed out that kernels were dorked. Do I watch Muta from some ordinary gamers? No, I don't really follow any gamer channels. I don't even play video games, man. Zorin is the name of an evil corporation from a James Bond movie. Ooh. Use Linux Mint. My daughter uses Elementary. Love all the parental settings. Wife's on Peppermint. Yeah, Linux Mint's my favorite. Peppermint's really good. I've never been a huge fan of Elementary, but the parental settings on Elementary are excellent. One of the best for that. Does Zorin come with wine? Ooh, out of the box? It used to. I'm not sure if it does anymore out of the box. So EO packages. I'll have a look at. I'm making myself a note here. I will have a look into Pardus. See what you guys are talking about there with Pardus there. Over on Discord, might try to look at Solus again. Use it for a while. It's not experienced at best. Don't trust them. In all honesty, I'm okay with Budgie. It's just that Solus kind of does fit my needs. Yeah, like I think Solus is a little too limited for me, but I do like the Budgie desktop. It was most fun when I had Budgie on Linux Mint. That was epic. I enjoyed that. I now use Fedora because my fiancée is a Fedora fangirl. There you go. Well, you gotta respect the missus. So definitely, if the missus says use Fedora, you gotta use Fedora. Elementary is pretty good. Problems now of restrictive and lockdown it is. That is one of the challenges. This is your first Linux distro. Ubuntu 11.04. Wine is so easy to install these days. Doesn't really matter. Wine is not pre-installed in Zorin 15. That's good. I am not a fan of distributions that pre-install Wine. Wine is something that you should install if you need it. It's not something that you should have installed out of the box. At least it's Linux. That's right. All right, guys, we have hit the bottom of the comments. And we are going to go ahead and feed this beast, and then we'll get out of here, and we'll call it a good show. So let's go ahead and feed the beast. Oh yeah, Kitty, you're getting some feedings. You're getting some feedings. You haven't been feedings for a long time, huh? Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, there we go. 10 minutes. PC installs in 2 minutes maximum. There you go. Huh? Depends on what you got. Ate lunch and still hungry. All right, well, go eat more lunch. Get second lunch. Third breakfast. So let's move to Ice Window Manager. But what'd you? Yeah, I want to get in there and get into the window managers. I think that sounds fun, but I'll get there eventually. Anyway, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap this up today. Tomorrow, what are the challenges we've had with Linux? And then Friday with the weekly news roundup. Cat needs no feeding because of the size of it. Oh, yeah. That cat's of only about 12 pounds. I mean, he's big boned. He's just very big boned, okay? Massively big boned. Right, kitty cat? All right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our supporters stream.